Hi, everyone, and welcome to our self-love call tonight. With me, I have my colleagues Edina, Kieve, and Ali G. And tonight we'll be sharing with you our stories and our self-love journey and how we came to incorporating this incredible superfood nutrition into our lives. Now, I want to touch on what is self-love to me. So self-love to me is caring for my mind, my body, and my soul in a way that allows me to come about energized, fresh, awakened, and alive in my everyday life. And the things that really fuel that for me are meditation, exercise, tuning into nature, really just getting to give my body what it needs to thrive, eating well. I love doing cold dips, and I love immersing myself in environments that are really just coinciding with loving on ourselves in a deeper way. But today, what we're here to talk about is internal self-love. And really what this means is just giving our body what it needs internally to not only come about in an energized way, but really just evolve as human beings and grow into our healthiest, most thriving self. So firstly, I'll be sharing my story and my self-love journey of incorporating these incredible foods into my day-to-day. And where my story really begins is by observation. And how we learn most things is by observing them. And I observed my dear friend and colleague, Edina, transform her health and her wellness. And I was curious and sat on the fence for nearly a year while I just explored these superfoods and this nutrition almost in secret. I hadn't even shared with her that I was interested or even watching what she was doing. And so by the time we got to have a conversation and I really felt it was time for me to incorporate these things into my life, I had already seen such incredible transformative stories, so to speak. And when I started this journey, I was experiencing chronic pain, chronic skin issues, chronic anxiety, and I had had a concussion about 4 years ago. So I was struggling with concussive symptoms that had gone on for, at the time, it was 3.5 years. And when I first started to incorporate these things into my diet, I noticed not only were these things started to kind of peel away, kind of like an onion, but I also noticed that a really heavy addiction I had, which was sugar addiction, started to fall away quite quickly. And only a few short days after incorporating this superfood nutrition into my lifestyle, I wasn't craving unhealthy sugars. And that to me was like a miracle. Like I literally didn't think I'd be able to free myself from this sort of addiction for the duration of my life. And I had tried different cleansing, I had tried different systems before, but they always left me feeling depleted and really unenergized. And with this system in specific, I was able to love on myself in such a way that I felt energized and I felt so good in my body that I wanted to keep going. And one of the major things that happened during my time, especially the first 30 days of incorporating this nutrition, was that I got my ability to recall information back. And this was a long time coming, 3.5 years of not being able to recall information properly. And I didn't think that those concussive symptoms would go away. I thought that they were something I was going to have to deal with for the rest of my life, along with chronic skin issues, chronic pain, and chronic anxiety, which is something that I feel a lot of the people around this planet are dealing with as a whole. And when I started to notice that my concussive symptoms were gone, I was also watching myself change. And by loving on myself in this way and in this internal fashion, I was able to notice that my chronic pain was beginning to dissipate. And this is all thanks to gut health. Now, jog back to a year ago, I didn't know very much about gut health. I knew it was important. I knew that the gut-brain connection was something that was so important to our overall health and wellness. But now, jog forward a year later, I'm so happy to say that I'm free of chronic pain. I'm free of chronic anxiety. And only sometimes it pops up in very specific moments. And I'm free from chronic skin issues. And when I say skin issues, I had what is known as cystic acne. And for those of you who aren't aware of what this is, it's basically painful lesions on the skin that take a long time to go away. And, fast forward a year, I'm so happy to say that this nutrition has been so impactful with my life and with my health. And I'm so happy to know that things are still continuing to change with my health and with my wellness. And with that being said, I would love to open it up to Edina for her to share her story with you all today.
Hi, everybody. I am a circus performer and a fitness coach, and I didn't always practice self-love. I grew up with the standard American diet. So I'm talking fast food, takeout, junk, sugars, you name it. I partied a lot, did a lot of recreational drugs, drank alcohol. I self-harmed and put myself in situations that were unsafe. But I really was trying to just cope with trauma. I experienced a lot of trauma in my early years. I was living with complex PTSD and I had no idea. Prolonged trauma combined with my poor coping mechanisms led to the collapse of my physical health. At age 14, I was diagnosed with rheumatoid arthritis. I was put on a multitude of strong drugs, biologics injections, prednisone, steroids, all kinds of autoimmune inflammatory inhibitors. And very quickly, depression and suicidal thoughts kicked in. And this was a daily occurrence for me. Little did I know I was destroying my gut health during my prime developmental years. Doctors told me that I'll never get off these drugs. And the worst thing about all of that is I believed them. I tried to lower all of my drugs time and time again, but it would result in flare-ups. And I would be bedridden for a week, sometimes out of work, unable to walk, and I would have to get my knees drained, which was a very, very painful process and very traumatic. I had repeat infections because biologics actually suppress your immune system. So I was constantly getting sick, and I was taking anywhere from 3 to 6 rounds of antibiotics per year. Over the years of prolonged hopelessness and poor gut health, I developed addictions to sleeping pills, painkillers, smoking, drugs, alcohol, and of course, emotional eating. At age 28, this is when my mental health really spiraled out. I developed a panic attack disorder, which would last 2 years. It was one of those horrible kinds of panic attacks that would come on at any time, and I'd end up on a stretcher in a paramedic on my way to the hospital. To say the least, I was terrified to leave my house. I became very isolated. I stopped seeing friends. I got on Ativan and other mental health drugs. With multiple hospital emergencies, I felt hopeless, and that's when I had my first suicide attempt. But this is also where my journey of true self-love really begins. I took a break from partying. I stopped consuming drugs and alcohol. I quit smoking. I started eating organic. I started eating whole foods, less sugars and junk. I practiced intermittent fasting. These were all of my, and are continue to be my self-love practices. I practiced Wim Hof breathing, ice baths. I invested massively into my personal development and with trauma release coaches. I began facing and releasing trauma, began doing subconscious release and hypnotherapy, daily gratitude practices, and I invested all my time and energy into my disciplines as a circus performer and excelled in my craft and in my business. For some time, things seemed to be looking up in general, but then I got COVID. So I was sick for a month, and then after that, I was sick for a year with long COVID. I was dealing with chronic migraines every single day for a year, chronic sinusitis, stomach issues, like gut health issues, insomnia kicked in full throttle. My sleeping pills stopped working. These were sleeping pills I used for 10 years, Zopiclone. I did all kinds of tests, blood tests, urine tests, MRIs, everything was coming up fine. My doctors kept telling me, you're fine, go home, sending me home with more sleeping pills, painkillers, and anti-anxiety pills. I couldn't deploy any of my coping mechanisms anymore because it was just too much. My physical body wouldn't allow me to do it. Once again, I found myself contemplating suicide. But this time, there was a quiet voice inside of me that was saying, that no one will save you except for yourself, not even your doctors. So I reached out on Facebook and I said, someone help me. I listed all my symptoms and explained what I was going through. And this is where Kieve, my girlfriend and colleague, she reached out to me and I trusted her. And she talked to me about a program based on organic nutrition, but really the foundation about this program was all about gut health and detoxing glyphosate, which is a chemical, and I'll talk a little bit more about that later, and really rebuilding the gut microbiome. And this program was attractive to me because I was so sick and tired of pills and drugs. I wanted something organic and natural. And it was all organic food, but grown from regenerative soil. So there were clues there that this food was more potent than anything I've ever had. I also really liked that it was a system of nutrition rather than talk to me about a bottle of probiotics, which I was doing and yielded absolutely no results for me whatsoever. And I knew deep in my core that my gut needed love. So I got on this journey and I bought the program. I didn't know that detoxing glyphosate and repairing my gut was a missing link to my healing. I had no idea how malnourished I was because for a year during the pandemic, I was eating all organic whole foods and feeling terribly. It took 10 days on this program for all the chronic pain symptoms to leave my body. Just 10 days. Headache and chronic sinusitis, migraines, totally gone. My sleep returned and regulated, and I got off of my sleeping pills, an addiction that I had had for 10 years. I got off my pain meds, Ativan, sugar and chip cravings diminished. I felt calm and happy, more energized, zero anxiety. My confidence grew. I had healthier relationships. I was bursting with creative energy, and I started my third business with Purium. Looking back on the 30 days during this program, I saw that I had zero inflammation in my knees. I decided to dedicate myself to this lifestyle.
Got it.
Full time, and really see what's possible for my autoimmune disease. And this is what self-love is. It's a commitment to staying consistent with our self-love practices. So today, 2.5 years into this lifestyle, I have gotten off of 18 years of biologics injections, which is a huge success. I've never been able to come off these injections before. I have also lowered my steroids and my methotrexate. I have zero repeat infections, and I haven't been on antibiotics in 2.5 years. I also fired my family doctor and my rheumatologist. Yes, oh my goodness, so much there. Kieve, could you pull up those photos? I'd like to go over a few things briefly, just to showcase to you guys what it really looks like, what I went through. We'll start off with the first photo. Here we are. So here's an example of what my knees looked like. And to be honest, you guys, it was twice as bad as this. This was later on in the years, regulated by medications. I wasn't able to bend or straighten my legs. I developed my circus career by stretching my body and working with breath work to be able to create the mobility that I have as a contortionist today. Second slide, please, Kieve. In this picture, if you look closely, this is during the pandemic, the photo on the left. I'm actually 128 pounds. Take a look at the inflammation in my face. And the photo to the right is 3 weeks ago. I'm actually 145 pounds after a year of weight training, and all the inflammation is down. So this is just an example to show you that the scale is not where you're going to be looking to see your health. And the next photo, thank you, Kieve. Okay, guys. I just want to highlight that this photo on the left, this was at the peak of my health collapse during the pandemic, and I was eating organic whole foods for an entire year. I was on probiotics, and I was on a host of synthetic supplements. Little did I know I wasn't absorbing any of it. And not only that, the synthetic supplements were overloading my adrenals and causing more harm than good because it wasn't derived from real food. The photo on the right is current day living this Purium lifestyle. And next photo. So the program really consists of 4 simple steps. You have your super amino, which is the protein. And this is what really helped me with brain fog, especially when you're dealing with inflammation and chronic pain. It's so hard to think. It's a protein that's pre-digested, so you're getting all of this energy without any output of energy. Next, you're actually nourishing with a power shake, and you're hydrating and alkalizing your body. All of these things help to reduce inflammation in your body. Not to mention that this food is grown from regenerative soil. So the amount of nutrition in one drink is so potent, and it's part of the recovery. Then we go on to Biomedic, and this is the gut health. It's the foundation of the whole program. With Biomedic, we are removing glyphosate, and glyphosate is a toxin herbicide sprayed on our waterways and all of our food. Even organic food today has traces of glyphosate, and we are detoxing this from our gut. This is a chemical that crosses the blood-brain barrier and is responsible and linked to so many different autoimmune health issues, mental health issues, and inflammatory diseases. So the whole program is really detoxing this glyphosate and rebuilding the gut microbiome so we can flourish in our health and absorb this nutrition that we are putting in. And the fourth step is regenerating with the apothecary, and this is what got me off sleeping pills. The apothecary helps us to build our own natural source of melatonin internally and to regulate our sleep, building a natural circadian rhythm. It also supports lowering inflammation in the body, amazing for joint health and post-workout recovery. The last step, which is not in these slides, is just the last 10 days of the program, and it's a gentle parasite and colon cleanse, really responsible for a huge part of our emotions. If we're having unhealthy cravings, if we're feeling depressed, we really want to address our colon, clean that out, and address parasites, because those are the ones that dictate our moods largely. If I were to leave you guys with any words, any final words, I want to say, to me, my idea of self-love is a true act of self-love is the belief that it's possible, an open heart, and a willingness to keep trying. Thank you guys so much for taking the time to hear my story this evening.
Wow, Edina, thank you so much for sharing your beautiful story. It always impacts me in a different way every time I hear it. Next, we have Ali G. She's a healthcare practitioner as well as a holistic practitioner, and she'll be sharing her story with us tonight. Please take it away, Ali G.
Thanks so much. Yeah, like most people, it took getting a diagnosis of large tumors to stimulate my desire to learn all about health. And I became quite addicted to learning about health and all the products out there, all the doodads, and all the different product lines, really finding what was the best ones out of the bunch. Luckily for me at the time, they were non-cancerous and easily removed by surgery. But at that point, I became a holistic health practitioner and a health coach, like you said, and got certified in different health certifications. So when I heard about Edina's story, it really blew me out of the way, because I had never seen such a comprehensive system with such high purity standards that Purium had. So I went home and I did my research. And doing my research from Purium, it only made me feel more gratitude for its existence. So I jumped right on the bandwagon. And for me, luckily, I wasn't trying to overcome certain ailments at the time, other than not really being able to sleep very well. I also was eating a well-balanced, mostly organic diet. But once I did the ultimate lifestyle transformation and really incorporating these superfoods into my life on a daily basis, even though I felt I was in good health to begin with, that superseded. My nails grew long and hard and strong. My hair grew where it wasn't really growing, less hair fall, better energy, lost weight, was able to sleep at night in a way that I have never slept in my life, really getting that sound REM sleep. It helped with my digestion, and it helped with my service delivery that I'm able to offer my clients, because they were getting health results that was better than they had also ever seen before. So out of all of my practices of self-love, which include stretching every day, which include my molecular hydrogen machine, my electromagnetic frequency EMF repellers, my air purifiers, my water distiller, all these, my doodads that increase circulation, all of these programs out there and all of these things that we do out there are great and they are all helpful. But as anyone who has ever experienced the Purium lifestyle will tell you, that when we start consuming these superfoods on the daily and eliminating the literal poison that's in our body, magic happens in a way that we haven't seen. And it's beautiful, and it's something to experience for yourselves, not just to take our word for it, but to really look at the Purium Ultimate Lifestyle Transformation websites and see people's transformational stories, because it's so inspiring to learn from other people. Everybody in the Purium lifestyle is just a high vibe person who really wants to make the world a better place. They want to share these superfoods. They want to share information about nutrition. They want to expose the different chemical burdens that the different product lines around us are having. And it's that awareness that will help us evolve. Like you were saying before, Kushi-Rawa, this is not just a product line. This is not just a product that you see on the stores. It's just like anything else. This is something that will help people evolve and the planet evolve, because it is active enzyme superfoods, because they dehydrate the foods with no heat, which is different from all the other products. So when we add these scoops of superfoods to water, it becomes living, active enzyme foods. Because these foods have gone through 36 levels of microscopic purity testing, we are not getting anything but pure energy and vitality that our cells need to detox and to thrive. So with us, we don't really know these things to remove pesticides, to remove glyphosate, to alkalize the body, balance the hormones. We don't necessarily know what to do because there's so much out there. But that is the thing that is so great about this company, that it makes it so easy. And we all have products that we've bought that we probably haven't taken. It's still in our drawer. Because we know that these are living foods that are like above and beyond powerful, it kind of inspires you to take it and to not just let it sit on the shelf. And so it's really amazing just on the physical aspect to be able to transform at that cellular and energetic level. But it also helps us transform because it gives us a community. We are all a community, and you are not going through any of this alone, because you may feel detox symptoms. You may have questions. We all do at the beginning of things, but everybody who consumes these superfoods are there to tell you how it's affected their lives, to inspire you to do something that's going to make you the healthiest, happiest person that you can be. And this is what is going to get you there. So it's such a blessing to know about it. This is not sold on store shelves in a plastic container, just waiting, collecting dust. The people who use these products share the knowledge of these products, and it's a word of mouth. So consider yourself blessed for hearing about the opportunity that these superfoods have for you and your lives. And I just want to say the biggest thing also for me is just the ease of life. Not having to make food all the time is a game changer of life. Everybody's busy, whether you have kids or not. There's always a million things to do. So having portable food to have anywhere that fills you up and that really gives you the energy and the self-confidence of health is really something special. So we're all just like buzzing at the bit, sharing the information about this. And it's just exciting to be able to carry on the conversation later, to be able to help all of you with your individual needs. because there is hope, and this is what's going to get you to those health goals.
Thank you so much, Ali G. What a beautiful share. I love everything that you added in there. Thank you so much. Next, we have Kieve. She's a mom of 2, and I relate to her so much because we're both moms. So I'm so excited for you all to hear her story today. Take it away, Kieve.
Hey guys, thank you so much for coming and being there's so many of you here. Thank you all so much for coming. So, and thank you for inviting me to come on this call as well. I'm so grateful. So for me, I think the greatest act of love, the greatest act of self-love is living the life you love. All right. This is something that I've carried with me since I was a teenager. I discovered this really, really young. It was just about living the life that I wanted to live, being the person that I wanted to be. And to do that, there's 2 things that you really, really need. Okay. For you to live the life that you love, the one that you want, you need 2 things. You need your health. You need to be healthy. Okay. Because if you don't have health, you can't do anything. Okay. And the second thing you need is wealth. And I'm not talking, you don't need to be a millionaire or multimillionaire, but you need the income that will allow you to have a roof over your head, to have food on the table, to do the activities that you enjoy doing, whatever that might be, right? So you need these 2 things to be able to enjoy the life that you love and the life that you want to choose for yourself. And so how that came about to be in my life is I became an artist. I became an entrepreneur. I started 2 businesses because I didn't want anybody else to tell me what to do. I didn't want to live by anyone else's rules. Okay. And so I became an artist. I became an entrepreneur. I started 2 businesses on my own. And, but even at that, when you have your own businesses, there's a lot that you have to do. And for me, the thing that I loved doing the most was traveling. And I was like, how am I going to have a business and travel at the same time? Like, how can I do that at the same time if I have to be in Montreal, to run my businesses? And so the day that I realized that, I was in Belize and I had to come home the next day because I had to run my own business. And I thought in that moment, I'm not as free as I thought I was. I became an entrepreneur to be free, and I wasn't as free as I thought I was. And that day, right before coming to Montreal, I decided to start my Purium business and to start sharing these superfoods and to share health with everyone around me, because I realized and understood that I needed help and I needed to be free. Okay, that was the biggest act of love I can do for myself in my entire life, was give myself the freedom to do whatever I wanted, whenever I wanted, with whoever I wanted to do it. Okay, so in that moment, I started my Purium business. And that was, guys, that was exactly 3 years ago in February 2020. Okay. And today I am so grateful because not only do the superfoods help me give my body everything that I need really, really quickly when I'm really, really busy and I'm a mom and I'm doing so many things, but also because it gives me the financial freedom to be with my kids. If my kid has a cough and can't go to school, I am not calling anybody to tell them, sorry, I can't come to work. Okay, I can't come to work. My kid is sick. I do not apologize to anybody. Okay, my life is taken in my own hands. I make all my decisions. I can go travel. I can take my kid out of school and go travel with my kids and still make an income. Okay, I have the freedom to really live the life that I love. And that is something that is priceless to me. And that is something that that is the greatest act of love I have given myself my entire life, is just give myself the freedom to live the life I love. And so now the only thing I can do is pay it forward, which is why I've shared it with some of you who are here, that I've shared it with Edina, because I can share the gift of health and I can share the gift of wealth with people to allow us to be able to do exactly what we want to do with our lives, whether that's staying at home in the same town for 20 years, or whether that's traveling the world, or whatever that is. Having an income that comes in even while you're sleeping really gives you the opportunity to focus on the activities, the hobbies, the people that are around you. And so for me, it was that was the greatest act of love. Self-love was to nourish my body on a cellular level, and to start this business that I can carry with me everywhere I go. And most importantly, just spend time with my kids. Like that to me is the greatest gift I could give myself, and that I could give my family. And so I hope that you hear what I'm saying, and that you go out there and love yourself and love the life you live, because we only have one, and it's so, so short. Thank you so much, guys. Thank you so much for listening.
You put that so well, Kieve. It's so important for us to love the life we're living. And how we do that is by caring for our body, by caring for our health and our wellness. Thank you so much for your beautiful share and your story. And I just want to take a moment to thank you all for coming and joining us here tonight. And thank you to my colleagues for hosting this call with me. It was such a beautiful time to share with you all. And at this time, I want to open it up to you all for questions. If you have any questions, please don't feel pressured to use your mic, but if you want to use your mic, use the raise hand feature, and we can get to each question as we go. And if you're not feeling comfortable using your mic, that's totally okay. Please just go ahead and use the chat, and we will answer your questions. And if you have a question that's directed at one of us specifically, just let us know by putting our name in your question.
I think we're good for this evening.
I'll turn off the recording in case somebody wanted to ask a question without being recorded.
I actually just want to say one last thing. And also, just in case you haven't gone to the website before, what Purium is, by the way, it stands for Pure and Premium. It is an online store where they have about 60 products. You know, it's drinks, it's meal replacements, it's things in capsule form like supplements, and there's some different cleanses. You know, you can get individual products, you could get the cleanses. You know, it's the more you consume, the healthier you will be. And some of the money that you spend on synthetic vitamins right now, or synthetic supplements, or other perhaps powdered dehydrated superfoods that aren't active enzyme that goes to the purity testing, you know, you're saving money there, and getting all of your vitamins and minerals through this whole food form. So do reach out to the person who, you know, who sent you the invite, or who that you know here, so that we can help navigate what is best for you. You can let us know your health goals, and we can let you know what products are good for you. Of course, it's always best to start with the ultimate lifestyle transformation, so that your body is able to absorb properly anything that you do put in it, and that you are having that foundation of an alkalized body, of balanced hormones, of pesticides and parasites, and literal poison. Like if you drank poison, you would probably go to the hospital, right? You would probably get that poison removed. And that's what's beautiful about the Biomedic. It's literally removing the poison from your body so you can digest properly. No other product line on planet Earth has a product that does that. So let us help you navigate. You know, don't do it by yourself. You're just going to, you know, probably get overwhelmed. As mentioned before, we are here for you. We want you to be your healthiest selves, and the world needs you to be your healthiest selves. The world needs awareness so that we can heal ourselves in a way that we are not continuing to be poisoned. And I'm proud of all of you for for having self-love, because you wouldn't be listening to this if you didn't respect your body and if you didn't care about your health, because it's just so easy to drink whatever is cheap, to eat whatever is easy, to eat whatever everybody else is eating. So congratulations for respecting yourself and for wanting to take control of your health and your future.
Thank you so much, Ellie G, for all of that. And as Ellie G said, please feel free to get back to the person who invited you. They have a gift code for you, okay, which will allow you to receive $50 to $100 off your purchase. And I just want to say thank you so much again for everybody who came to join us this evening. It was so wonderful to have you all here. Thank you so much for your presence in the chat. And with that, I hope that you all have a wonderful evening.
Thank you.